I would like to give you a short remedy, a small remedy that may be very useful sometimes, so we can complete the time. I would like to give you the salient points, the main points of this remedy, which is Dolichos. Dolichos is mainly a right-sided remedy which affects mostly the liver and the skin. Its main characteristic is very intense eruption, itching, very intense itching without an eruption. A nervous sensitivity which comes to an exalted state, which especially when we have that tremendous itching, with this sensitivity building up in a Dolichos case, we shall have at a certain moment so much the intensity inside and the despair because of the itching and the sensitivity, etc., that the person shouts, "Ah!" It are the cases that you will see these states in the last stages of cancer, when the bile duct is obstructed and the bile salts are circulating within the body, and then the itching is tremendous, is unbearable, and is constant. There is no moment that there is no itching, and the itching is here, and you scratch and it goes there, and you scratch and it goes there, and you scratch and it goes there, and scratch and it goes there. This builds up inside the individual, the individual, until that sensibility, that sensitivity builds up so much that reaches the point where really shouts, really wants to kill himself. We have tendencies, suicidal tendencies, because of that state. Despair. And when this comes, you see, there is a kind of amelioration during the day. The day is bearable, kind of bearable. But as soon as darkness starts coming down, then the itching starts. And the itching builds up as the time goes by until 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, where it's real. The individual can stay days after days without sleep. There are people that will be begging in the hospitals, they will be begging the doctor to kill them. It's such itching. At the same time, you will find something which is very peculiar to Dolichos, and if you get that, it is now, together with the itching, together with the liver being affected, the bile obstruction is there. Together with that, you will get irritated gums with inflammation. And there is a pain, a kind of pain, which is deep and prevents sleep. It will not allow you to sleep. Now, if you have this kind of itching in the gums with a little bit of itching in the skin, also can be Dolichos. But mostly Dolichos is when the itching in the skin because of bile salts in the blood is tremendous, and the irritation on the gums is there. These two, the combination makes a Dolichos case. Dolichos makes the person very restless, wants to get up from bed and move about all the time. They cannot sit for a moment. And as we said, it's worse at night, underlined 3 times, and worse with warmth. Warmth of bed, the covers of bed will intensify the itching and will bring up the despair. So when there is an amelioration from cold water, And actually what ameliorates these cases are only if, I remember a case on a liver problem with obstruction of the bile duct during the last months of pregnancy, where you may get such dysfunctions and such problems. And she was saying to her relatives to hold her, not to jump from the balcony. The itching was so terrible. And the only thing that ameliorated was that in the bed sheets, they will make the bed sheets wet with a solution of vinegar. Solution of vinegar. And wrap up. She will be wrapped up the whole night with that sheets, that bed sheets, that made a little bit of difference, that made a little bit tolerable the situation. This intensity, when you see, where you will see in the hepatitis, the first thing in Dolichos, if you have a hepatitis, which starts with itching. You see, in the cases of hepatitis, we have two types of hepatitis, right? Type A and type B. Type A is the infective hepatitis, the less strong hepatitis, and the type B, where the Australian antigen is positive. Now, in about 5% of all cases of hepatitis, there is itching. But there is a modification of hepatitis. It's a modification of hepatitis type A, which mostly starts with itching, and it is called cholangiolytic hepatitis. This is a hepatitis type A, but the main characteristic is this tremendous itching which starts immediately with the symptoms. Therefore, you have the urine in Dolichos. The urine is dark. There is a constipation most of the times, and if there is a what's called enema, then you may get stool which is yellow. But mostly there is hepatitis. Another characteristic is that the scratching does not relieve. Scratching does not relieve. They will scratch and scratch and scratch, and they will feel no relief from scratching. This has nothing, what I'm describing has nothing to do with a type of, say, skin eruption that will have itching. This itching I'm describing is beyond comprehension. They will tear up the skin, and then you will see blood running through. There is much flatus with eructations, distension of abdomen, distension of abdomen with the desire to take out the clothing. The clothing seems to be heavy. So it's a remedy that will be prescribed mostly in hepatitis type A, or in the end stages of a hepatitis type B. If the hepatitis is very severe, sometimes will eventually go into that state of itching. Symptoms of bile duct obstruction. The despair, the sensitivity, the thoughts of suicide, the tremendous sensitivity which builds up, the shouting. They will shout like mad people. And the desire to die, they do not afraid. They do not have a fear of dying or anything like that. There is no anxiety. There is not such thing. The only thing is the despair, and they want to end their suffering by just committing suicide. So this is a small remedy that's going to be very useful if you have that picture. And it's going to act like a miracle. Huh? When our remedies are correct, you know how they act. Metal, I can't hear.
Made of. Where is it made of? Is the plant vegetable or mineral?
It's a plant, Yeah. But don't, I'm talking about the potentized medicine. I'm not talking about the herb that you go and drink it or something.